Ah, democracy. That fascinating and complex concept that everyone wants to use, but it doesn't always turn out as expected. Imagine we're at a big, noisy party where everyone has to bring something to the table. Unless we're in one of those autocratic democracies where the choices feel more like a game of musical chairs, except the music never stops, and there's always someone sitting down. But let's start from the beginning. How does democracy work? Essentially, it's a system that puts power in the hands of the people to shape political decisions directly or through elected representatives. This is the system the Greeks used in Athens around 500 BC. Picture them in their togas, sitting together and thinking, hey, maybe giving people the right to vote directly isn't such a bad idea. And so, the earliest form of direct democracy was born. In this kind of democracy, anyone can participate directly in laws and decisions. Well, if you're a free male citizen in Athens. So, sorry, women and non-citizens, you're not invited to this party. Now the Romans come in and say, well, why don't we send representatives to do the job instead of us? And thus, representative democracy was born. In this model, instead of everyone gathering in one place to discuss laws, you send someone to speak on your behalf. It's like hiring a lawyer to do your taxes, but you don't get to choose whether they're good at it or not. Next, we have an interesting concept called deliberative democracy. And no, it's not your friend who overthinks everything. It means creating spaces for collective discussions, where decisions are made based on consensus and dialogue, not by who can shout the loudest. Imagine a group project where, if done right, no one will get blamed for the bad results, but there's always one person who does nothing and still gets an A. Now let's talk about the essence of democracy: fairness, political equality, and the rule of the majority. But this only works when the majority truly reflects the will of the people, not when we all team up against minorities. And of course, nothing is more important than civil liberties, where individuals' rights are protected from oppression, unless you're living in democracies that are backsliding into autocracy, and it feels like your freedom of speech is as rare as a unicorn. Now that we've had a look at democracy, we can say it's like a complex machine that's supposed to be running. At least that's the idea. It's always a delicate balance between giving everyone a chance to voice their opinion and ensuring that everyone's voice is heard, not just the loudest one. And ultimately, remember that if everything falls apart, you always have the right to complain about the system in the next election. So whether you're voting in a referendum or just arguing with friends about the best pizza, democracy reminds us that participating in the process matters. Unless, of course, we face the truth that sometimes it's just like a political race where the real winner is always the host.